We'll be connecting to MySQL in many different files throughout the rest of this course, so it makes sense to create the connection in an external file. If you haven't already done so, create a folder called Includes at the top level of your testing site. And we need to create a PHP file inside that folder and save it as MySQLi_connect.php. The file should only have an opening PHP tag. We'll be connecting using the object-oriented interface of MySQL Improved, so we need to create an instance of the MySQLi class, and we'll store that as DB. So that'll be our database connector. Normally, you only need 4 arguments for the class constructor: the address of the MySQL server, the username, password, and database name. So we're connecting on localhost. The username, OOPHP. The password is Linda. And the database is called OOPHP. If you're connecting to MySQL on a non-standard port, you need to add the port number as the 5th argument. For example, if you're using the default MEMP ports on a Mac, you'll need to change this. Let's just duplicate that line, and you would add in a 5th argument, 8889. That's the default port for MySQL on MEMP on a Mac. I'm connecting on the standard port, so I'll comment out that line. Next, we need to check whether we've connected successfully, and if there's been a problem, the connection object will have a property called connectError, so we can use that to test whether we're okay. So if, and then the DB connector, the arrow operator, and connectError, and we can assign that to a variable called error. Notice that this doesn't have any parentheses at the end. It's a property of the connection object. It's not a method. That's all we need to connect to MySQL. So if we save that page, we can now test our connection. Open MySQLi_test.php. You can find that in the chapter 5, 05_01 folder of the exercise files. It just contains a little PHP block here that checks whether error has been set. If it has, it shows you the error message. Otherwise, it tells you that the connection has been successful. We need to connect. Let's do that above the doc type. So insert a few lines there and create a PHP block. And inside that, we need to create a try-catch block because we're using a class that might throw an exception. So try, then after the closing brace, catch. And inside parentheses, we're catching an exception. We'll call it E. And if we do catch an exception, we'll assign the message, the error message, to our error variable. So we use the getMessage method. The code that we want to execute needs to go into the try block. All we're doing at the moment is going to include our database connection script. So require once. And the database connection script is in the includes folder. So we need to go up 2 levels to be able to get to the includes folder. So that's // includes, and then the name of the file, which was MySQLi_connect.php. Just before testing this, I'm going to add one extra line. I'm going to add it after this PHP conditional statement, and it's DB, that's our database connector, and then use the close method. And this will explicitly close the connection to the MySQL server. If you don't do it explicitly, PHP will do it for you, so the sky won't fall in if you leave out this line, but it's simple enough to do, and it keeps everything tidy. So let's save that page and test it in a browser. And that's great, we've got connection successful. I hope that's what you've got too. But let's just introduce a artificial error. Let's change the password, save that, and refresh the browser, we get these horrible messages up here, but what we're looking for is the error message that we've got down here. Access denied for user oophp at localhost using password yes. Well, if we're using the password and access has been denied, it obviously means that the password is wrong. You'll need to check out whatever message you've got down here. One thing that might happen is if localhost doesn't work, try using 127.0.0.1. That's the alternative for localhost. But let's just go back and correct that error. Save it. Make sure that we're still working. And now that we've connected successfully to MySQL, we're ready to continue with the rest of the course.